Hi guys, thanks for joining us in this virtual class. This 20-minute flow is courtesy of the High Vibe Studio in downtown Bradenton, and due to the COVID-19 concerns, the studio is currently closed, but you can always head to the website and sign up for our virtual classes until we are able to open back up. With that being said, we're going to start in a seated position. You can sit cross-legged, you can keep the feet out, whatever it is. We're just going to sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back, try to keep a nice flat back, and at the same time we're going to feel a nice gentle lift through the top of the head. So from the sits bones, those two little pokey bones that are plugged into the mat, all the way up through to the top of the head. Relax the jaw, so maybe wiggle the jaw, feel that separation between the teeth, the space in between the eyebrows, release the muscles in the face. And we're going to sweep the hands up overhead, big breath in. On the exhale, palms facing down, release the hands, and we're still trying to reach all the way through the ends of the fingertips, so feel that length. Once the hands touch down, sweep the arms back up, big breath in. Maybe even bring the gaze up towards the sky. Exhale, sweep the hands down. And this can be done with the eyes open or closed. One more time. Big breath in, arms up overhead. We're going to interlace the fingers and point the palms up towards the sky. And as we do this, sometimes the shoulders will start to press up in towards the ears, but we're going to release them down, draw the ribs in, and notice if the knees are starting to get tight or the hips get tight. Can we release the knees down? So let that tension come out. Last breath here. On the exhale, we're going to bring the right hand behind the back, left hand across the body on the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall still, so make sure that there's not a lot of weight into the back hand. Broaden through the collarbones. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Letting the knees, the thighs release. Feeling that light string pull through the top of the head. On the inhale, we're going to come back to center, palms facing each other, arms up. Exhale, twisting over towards that left side. So the right hand across the body, left hand behind the back. Making sure that we're not putting a ton of weight into that back hand. So if you were to come up onto the fingertips or even try to float the hand, do you fall back or can we still sit up nice and tall? Broaden through the collarbones. Breathe into the belly. 3, 2, and 1. Sweep the hands back up overhead, palms facing each other. And on the exhale, we're going to lead with the chest, keep a flat back, and start to come into a forward fold. So we're going to go slow, controlled. And as we do that, we're going to find a spot where we can't go further anymore, or we'll start to feel the back round out. So we're going to let the hands drop. Continue to lead with the chest. So draw the ribs in. Try not to let the head drop or sinking just yet. We're still leading, and at the same time, keep the sits bones plugged into the mat. So if you notice that you're floating up, sit back down, continue to lead with the fingertips, with the chest, trying to keep a flat back. 3, 2, and 1. Now we can let the head drop. Maybe we can inch the fingertips a little bit more forward. Last breath here. Checking in with the jaw, with the breath, constantly. You'll hear me come back to that a few times throughout the practice. Always checking in. Where is that tension coming from? Where can we release? Walking the hands back in, sweep the arms up overhead, and then exhale, hands are going to come into heart center. Chin in towards the chest. Allow yourself to set an intention for your class. This can be a simple word, maybe it's a phrase or a mantra, something to guide you through your practice. At the same time, it doesn't always have to be super philosophical. Maybe it's just here to move. When you're ready, we're gonna switch over onto hands and knees. So however you wanna get there, tabletop pose, nice and spread through the fingertips. Shoulders are gonna stack over the wrists, hips are gonna go over the knees, and then we wanna draw the ribs in. If you're noticing that there's a banana shape already or a dip, try to keep a nice flat back. And what we're gonna do is just go side to side. So we're just gonna check in with the wrists first. And you can have the tops of the feet pressing into the mat, or you can flip the toes and stretch through the toes. So there's a few different options, even when we're here. Again, just side to side. And we're trying not to sit back or lean forward. We're just adding simply laterally. Relax the jaw. 2 more times on each side. Keeping that flat back. And then from here, start to add some circles. So now we're reaching a little bit more into the wrist, warming up. And if you're comfortable enough to really go past the shoulders and sit back, add that movement. And then go counterclockwise, or clockwise, I should say. The opposite way of where you started. And then from here, just some organic movement. And what I mean by that is anything that feels good. So you can sit back in towards the heels, rock forward. Maybe we're just checking in with the shoulders and pressing into the ground, letting the shoulder blades pinch and dipping. You can add some cat-cows where we're working through the spine. And rather than it just being one big chunk back and forth, we want to try to segment through the spine. So think of a wave, the same way we watch the waves crash up on shore, maybe starting at the tailbone and then working your way all the way up through the top of the head, coming into an angry cat pose. Notice how the tailbone starts and I creep up the back until I'm all the way through the top of the head. One more time if you're working on cat-cows, starting with the tailbone, low back, middle back, shoulders, all the way up to the top of the head. Keeping the shoulders over the wrists, cat pose, start with the tailbone, work your way up, rounding out, and then right back into a neutral tabletop. This time we are gonna flip the toes if they aren't already there. Float the knees just above the mat. And notice how I'm not sitting back, I'm not rocking forward, I'm keeping the same tabletop shape. So right where we were, all I'm doing is just adding a little bit more core work. The heels are sitting back. Try to press into the toes to get the heels over the toes. That way it puts that bend into the knees and we're getting that perfect tabletop shape. Starting to feel the legs fire up, the core fire up. Press the ears away from the shoulders. 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees. Extend the right leg back and keep the toes down. So sit back into the heel, feel that calf stretch, and then rock forward. And we're just gonna go back and forth. Now this can be done super fast, but what we wanna do, just like with the rest of practice, is slow, controlled movements. Work with your breath. One more time here, back and forth. Pivot the back heel, open up the right arm. And as we do that, this left leg is gonna be your kickstand. The more you keep it in the middle, the harder it's gonna be to challenge yourself, or the more challenging it's gonna be. The more you kick it out, the more stability you're gonna have. So sweep the right arm up, press into that back foot, roll the right shoulder open, and breathe. Last breath here. For those that are comfortable enough to open up even further, go for it. Or you can just keep the hand up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, start turning back in. So we're gonna bring the leg in, right hand drops, close the shoulder, and then bring the right knee in. Add a little rock side to side, back into your neutral tabletop, and then extend the left foot back. So we're gonna start by sitting back into the heel. Feel that calf stretch, rocking forward. And take your time here. Work with your breath. Try to keep the hips square. So if the left hip is opening up already, close that left hip in and down. One more time on each side, front and back. Back into neutral, pivot that left heel. So we're pushing into the sole of the foot. Try to keep the whole foot down and push off the outside edge. Use the right knee, right foot as your kickstand. Left arm up towards the sky. Now if you're comfortable enough to reach a little bit more open in the shoulders, you can. If not, we're just keeping the hand up towards the ceiling. Press the ears away from the shoulders, so we're thinking length as well as reaching up and out. 3, 2, and 1. Left hand comes down, close the hips. Left knee comes in. Flip the toes. Start by floating the knees just like we did before. And then we're going to push back into the first downward facing dog of the practice. And for those that have blocks, great opportunity here to use the blocks. So we're in our downward facing dog, spread through the fingertips. If you have tight hamstrings, bend in the knees. Maybe the heels come off the ground, that's okay. You can bend one knee at a time. Shake the head out, yes and no. You can even bounce on the toes. Definitely take that time to explore some of that movement. Last breath here. Long in the sides, pressing into the hands. When you're ready, we're going to shift forward into plank pose. Checking in with the core. Press into the toes to get the heel over the toes. And then right back into downward facing dog. Walk the hands in towards you, so we're in the back, reaching towards the back of the mat. Notice how I'm trying to keep my hips over my ankles. You can grab opposite elbows. Let the head drop, shake it out side to side. You can also bend one knee at a time. And again, if your hamstrings feel tight, maybe we just keep a bend in the knees, that's okay. Slowly roll up to standing. So we're going to keep that bend in the knees. Imagine you're going one vertebrae at a time. So taking your time. Go half the speed you think you're going at. And as we're rolling up, letting the head be the last thing that comes up. So now we can start to lengthen. Reaching up. Once we get to the shoulders, roll them back. Go a few times. Now we're standing up nice and tall. Draw the ribs in, point the palms out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. On the next inhale, bend the knees, big flat back. Bring the hands to the shins. Exhale, plant the hands, walk it out for downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, one more breath. And then we're in a neutral down dog. If you need to bend the knees, bend the knees. If you can find some stillness, go for it. Sweep the right leg up towards the sky. If we're opening up in the hip, square that right hip off. Reach through the heel. And then step it through, plant it in between the hands. So we're going to stay in this low lunge. One more breath. Allow yourself to come up onto the fingertips. Beautiful. From here, we're going to plant the hands, step back into plank pose, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, and you can continue to move as long as that feels comfortable. If you want to find some stillness or explore trying to find stillness, go for it. That's where it comes back to your intention for the class. From down dog, center the right foot, sweep the left leg up. Notice how I'm not trying to open up my hip. I'm trying to keep that hip square, reaching all the way through the heel. Now for tight hamstrings, it might be a little difficult, so just go with where you're comfortable. On the exhale, step the left foot through, plant it in between the hands, adjust your feet, come up onto the fingertips. So we're not trying to just rest on the thigh, we're adding that core work. We're pressing into the legs, into the feet. 3, 2, and 1. Plant the hands, step back for a plank pose. Downward facing dog. Bring the gaze in between the hands. We're going to step or hop towards the front. So when you're ready, again, you can maybe walk it up or float up. Big flat back inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the feet, sweep the arms up overhead. And then exhale, we're gonna twist to the right side, so open it up. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, left side, opening it up. Big breath in, arms up, forward fold. Lead with the chest. Sinking down, exhale. Inhale, flat back. We're gonna plant the hands. You can step or hop back from your plank pose, downward facing dog. Not here for very long. One more breath, just making sure that we shake the head out yes and no. Center the left leg, sweep the right leg up, step it through, plant it in between the hands, crescent lunge. So we're gonna press into the feet, sweep the hands up overhead. You can keep the back knee bent as long as we're squaring through the hips. So pull the right hip back, exhale, hands into heart center, and twist over towards the right side. Now, it might not be a very big twist. You can always bring the back foot in. Notice how I'm trying to keep my shoulders over the hips as I twist to the right side. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to center. Arms up overhead, big inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna sweep the hands down and back. So try to make it one smooth motion. Reaching all the way through the fingertips, broaden through the collarbones. Nice flat back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Big breath in. Once you're here, straighten the front leg. Beautiful. Exhale, bend the right knee, sweep the hands down and back. Reaching all the way through the fingertips, roll the shoulders back, plant the hands, right arm up towards the sky. One breath here, so one big inhale. Exhale, right hand comes down. Step the right foot to meet the left for plank pose. Downward facing dog. Great job, guys. Pedal out the feet, reset your breath, come back into your breath. Beautiful. Next inhale, we're gonna center the right foot, sweep the left leg up, step it through, plant it in between the hands. The wider the stance, the more control you're gonna have as we sweep the hands up overhead, crescent lunge. Remember, we wanna square the hips, so pulling the left hip back will bring the right hip forward. Bend in the back knee or keep it straight, that's up to you. On the exhale, we're gonna bring the hands into heart center and gently start to twist over towards the left side. Now, it doesn't have to be a super deep, big twist, just wherever you're comfortable going. You can always bring the back foot in for a little bit more support. Keep a bend in the front knee, shoulders over the hips. One more breath here. Come back to center on an inhale. Exhale, hands up overhead. Take a big breath in, and then on the exhale, we're gonna sweep the hands down and back. Notice how I'm not sinking into the thigh, activating the core, reaching all the way through the fingertips. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Once we're here in crescent lunge, straighten the left leg, point all the way through the toes. Last breath here. On the exhale, bend into the left knee, sweep the hands down and back, broaden through the collarbones, and then exhale, plant the hands, sweep the left arm up towards the sky. Just one big breath here. Exhale, left hand comes down. Left foot meets the right for plank pose. Downward facing dog. Nice job. Take 2 breaths here. Continuing to pedal out the feet. Maybe it's in the hips. Shake out the head, yes and no. Bring the gaze in between the hands. And remember, you can step or you can hop towards the front of the mat. Try to ride that inhale for a big flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the feet, sweep the arms up overhead, big inhale. Twist over towards the right side on the exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left side. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up. Lead with the chest, forward fold. Let yourself hang here for 2 breaths. bending one knee at a time or maybe swaying side to side. You can grab opposite elbows, whichever is most comfortable here for you. What we're going to do from here is plant the hands, step or hop back, downward facing dog. Dropping the knees, and we're going to meet in tabletop pose. Beautiful. And from here, we're just going to slowly sit down, swing the legs out in front. So the feet out in front, sweep the arms up, big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Allow the head to drop. Maybe the back rounds out. You can, depending on your flexibility, maybe it's just around the shins or the ankles. If you're comfortable going around the feet. Breathing here. Inhale, sweep the hands up overhead. Bring the hands down into heart center and back down. So we're going to start by bringing the right knee in. Left hand is going to come around, so we're going to give it a big hug and flex the left foot so the toes are pointing up towards the sky. Grounding through this left side. Left hand wraps around, give it a big hug, and we're facing the right side. So the right hand goes behind the back. Sit up nice and tall. And then see if you can grab the right foot with the left hand. So we're going from hugging the knee to now we're grabbing the foot and extend that right foot out. Now you might be able to float the right hand up. Last breath here. Bring the right hand down, right foot comes back in. Inhale, sweep the hands up. Exhale, release, hands down into heart center, and then back down to the mat. Left knee comes in towards the chest. Right hand this time, we're gonna give it a big hug. Open up towards that left side, and the left hand behind the back. So the more you're able to hug the knee, the more support you're gonna have. And you might not even need the hand right behind you. Or you can keep it back, but there's not much weight. Right hand grabs the left foot, extend the foot out, and then maybe we can float. Beautiful, big open chest, roll the shoulders back, and then bringing the left knee back in. Left hand comes down, sweep the arms up. Extend it out, forward fold one last time. Not here for very long, just 1 or 2 breaths. Sitting back up, bend the knees and slowly roll yourself back down onto the mat. Heel toe the feet to the outside edges. So tuck the tailbone, roll the shoulders back, nice flat back. You can cactus the arms or bring them all the way out. Just add windshield wipers, so side to side here. Feeling that nice low back massage. 2 more times on each side. Relaxing the jaw. Bring the knees back up towards the ceiling. And then the knees all the way in towards the chest. Keep the shoulders rolling back. And if you're comfortable in the hamstrings, grabbing for the feet, maybe a happy baby. Rock side to side. And you can do this with a happy baby or with the knees in the chest. Slowly bring the feet down. Extend the legs out. Tuck the tailbone. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe add a little head side to side. And as we settle into the mat, let the feet fall out. The fingertips will naturally curl as we release the tension. Coming back into a natural breath. Relax the jaw, the space in between the eyebrows. Coming back to your breath. Now you can stay here and finish out your practice, or you can start to add some movement, maybe the fingertips and the toes, the wrists and the ankles. You can bring the head or the hands up overhead, point and flex the feet. Bring the knees in one last time and choose one side where you'd like to fall to. Use that bottom arm as a pillow. Bring the knees in. Seal your intention. Using the top hand, we're going to press up to seated. Right back where we started. Bring the hands into heart center. You can keep the eyes open or closed. I want to thank you guys for joining me for this quick session here. Again, you can go to the High Vibe Studio website for our virtual classes. Hope that you have a wonderful rest of the week, wonderful afternoon or morning. Namaste. Thank you.